So, if that were your prayer, and you're talking to Holy Spirit, you're talking to the superconscious mind, well, you know better than I about this, don't you? You know better than I. Today's talk is a prosperity talk. It's a long talk title, so I had to remember. Oh yeah, God is my real source and my supply. Everything else is just a divine channel. God is my real source and my supply. So that must mean God is not cash. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
God isn't people being nice to me. God is not the grocery store. God is not my car. God is not this plant, the floor, the sky. But God is in. God is in all of it. By way of a divine idea. By way of a divine idea. But God must therefore be in the stuff I don't like too. And that's what's, we want to separate. Well, God's here, but God's not here. I've heard unity ministers say, well, that's not God. Well, what is it? If there's one power and one presence as the universe and as my life, God the good, omniscient, omnipresent, then where could God be absent? If God is for me, then nothing could be against me. Well, is that true or isn't it? I demonstrate my life according to my what I'm willing to believe about God. Everything I demonstrate in life is according to what I'm willing to believe and understand about God. And so if I'm busy telling myself, well, this is bad and this is bad and this is bad, well, that's what I believe. And it's fine. Yesterday I asked a couple of people, I said, what do you believe God's will for you is? And both of them gave the answer that I give here. God's will for me is to be happy, joyous, and free. I said, now, do you believe that? Or do you know it? Many of us believe this stuff because we hear it every week. We hear it in classes. We hear it in my letters. We hear me say it. God's will for me. 12-step meetings say it. But do I believe it? Do I know it in my gut? Do I know it to the soles of my feet? Do I know it beyond my intellect? Do I know it in my demonstrations? Do I know it? Now that's the Jesus Christ message, is know this stuff. I'm willing to know it, but I can't know it for you. But I'm willing that you know it. And so before I can be, for me, Shawn, to be willing that you know it, I have to be willing that I know it. I woke up last night in a panic. A big honking panic. And I don't usually do that. I don't usually I go to sleep, I'm done for the day, so next morning. And I woke up in a panic about money. And not my money, church's money. I woke up very frightened about Unity Center and the amount of money we have here. I woke up very frightened about our retreat and the amount of people signed up. And we have a decent amount of people signed up, but we don't have close to what I committed to. We're not going to cancel the retreat. We may have to make it small, or you take a smaller space within the retreat center, unless 20 more people sign up rather soon. But we'll still have a great retreat, but it'll be smaller. But the money here at Unity Center, I thought, ooh, what's up here? A couple of years ago, the board had to come to the fellowship and say, we have this amount of money, and we're closing a few months unless something happens. And it's like, we're about there now. We have about $37,000 in the bank. And this is not a ploy to get your money today. Trust me. This is a ploy to get your divine ideas, not a ploy to get your money. As much as I would love to think, oh, wouldn't it be cool after this somebody came with big checks, which we're willing. We're willing. And let me tell you why. This is what we've had to understand. And as the platform assistants and the chaplains and I spoke Friday night, because we talked about when the love offering happens at Unity Center, it's not a chance to raise money for Unity Center. It's an opportunity to give. The love, because it's a part of the prayer. It's part of prayer service. Always when we give, it's an opportunity to give. But the thing is, what we have to understand, what I have to understand, what you have to understand, none of us are giving to Unity Center. When we give to ourselves. Everything you've ever given at Unity Center, you have given to yourself because you are Unity Center. You are the church. So if you give to the church, you've just given to yourself. It's like you're paying your rent at home. You know, you because you want to live there. And so you do that. But the funny part, haha. Oh, and I woke up, and that panic last night was, I heard clearly the voice that said, Shawn, God doesn't need you to worry. God has no need for you to worry. I heard that voice so clear as I laid there thinking, how am I ever going to get back to sleep? And I did get back to sleep. But I heard very clearly, God does not need you to worry. Now, this is not a person we're talking about, God the person. This is not God the man. This is G-O-D. This is divine energy, divine source, divine supply does not need me to worry. And if the divine principle will say, divine law does not need us to worry, does not need me, does not need you to worry, then what's up here? What's up here? What is it I must accept into my consciousness? And so I read Myrtle Fillmore, a passage of hers from How to Let God Help You here in Prosperity. And she says, appearances of lack are cast out, and my life is established in abundance. Wasn't that nice? And then she says, we are not to be too concerned with the appearances of inharmony, lack, and imperfection about us. These things are not real, and they will pass away quickly. As truth takes hold in the consciousness, we are to remember that the light shines in the darkness, and that in the very midst of the darkness, our mind opens to the light. And for us, there is no more darkness. A new understanding of God as your real source of support and happiness will have to fill your mind and heart. A new faith in your own inner spiritual resources and your ability to bring them to the surface in the things that you need will have to take the place of negative submissiveness. I love that. Will have to take the place of negative submissiveness. Like, oh well, I guess that's my fate. You see, if I looked at the Unity Center's checkbook today, I'd say, ooh, well, okay, so we've got about enough money to get through the rest of the year unless something major happens. And I know a few things are in the works. David and I are selling our Florida apartment. When that goes through, we tithe, so a nice check will come to the Unity Center. But you see, it's not about money that we need at Unity Center. It's divine ideas and divine participation by the people who own it. And believe it or not, I'm not one of them. It's everybody. It's everybody who says Unity Center is my home. That's who Unity Center is. And what's my divine idea? And if you want to today, let me ask you this. If we had an impromptu little meeting after church today, maybe half an hour, who would stay here and we write down divine ideas of possibilities for increase? Beautiful, then we'll do it. We'll take 5 minutes to go enjoy the Davidsons' refreshments, and then we'll be here, and we'll write down divine ideas, because you see, that's what a community does. That's how a community grows and builds, because then the community is doing it together. It's not one person who's doing it all, and so we look at that, and so we will have to take the place of negative submissiveness. Where I'm not bound by how others see my religion. I guess I'm stuck. Most of you heard that David and I, we let our cat go last Saturday. And some people said, well, are you going to get a new cat? And we will eventually, probably, it's our plan, but not right now. And we said, we need to have this grieving experience. We don't have to get rid of our sadness. We don't have to fear what's wrong, the emptiness in our house. We walk in, and I still walk all over the house looking for the cat. Is she laying there? Is she doing that? And so to realize, this is part of the experience. So it's not bad. The amount of money is never bad or good. The amount of stuff is never bad or good. Now, I read this in the Revealing Word. I'll get my mic stand here. I'm stumbling all over this. This is about source and supply. So, source of all good from the Revealing Word. God is the source of all good. All good things flow to us from God through love and grace. And he quotes Luke 15 here. All that is mine is thine. That's what the father said to the prodigal son's brother. All that is mine is thine. So all that is God's is ours. Without exception. All the good that is mine without exception. There is not one thing that I cannot have. There is not one piece of good that I cannot have. Not even one is being withheld from us. And somebody said, well, why don't I have it? Well, because you haven't raised your vibration to receive it. It's not that God's not willing to give it. It's not that God's like, well, do you think that's all? You can't have it. Well, no, not at all. God is needs a bookmark when you when it falls on the floor. So supply. S-U-P-P-L-Y. Spiritual substance. Who here knows what substance is in metaphysics? Who remembers? Who used to take my classes?
Invisible world.
Divine ideas. Divine ideas. It's the invisible. It's divine ideas. Is there not an infinite supply of divine ideas for our good? Okay, good. I'm glad you agree. So, spiritual substance supply often fails to flow to one whose faith is fixed in some outer source instead of in substance. Jesus understood spiritual substance and could make from it whatever he wished, whenever he wished. Anxiety about supply, 3 a.m, can be overcome by a recognition of the omnipresence of spirit, substance, and the centering of faith in it as the one source of supply. I love that. Let me read it again. Anxiety about supply can be overcome by a recognition of the omnipresence of spirit, substance, and the centering of faith in it as the one source of supply. Well, fantastic. So I no longer have to affirm they're just trying to get my money. Whoever it is. Whoever it is. It could be religion, it could be government, it could be the credit card people, it could be whatever. They just want to get something from me, my spouse, my whatever. They just want to get my... No. Do not create organizations and people as the source of your misery, as the substance of your unhappiness. Begin to create God as the substance of your joy, of the substance of your abundance, of the substance of your wisdom, of the substance of your love, of the substance of your truth. Begin to create God with a simple thought of omnipresence. Omnipresence. We have this wonderful... Where is it over here? Okay. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever we are, God is. So wherever we are, good is. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Wherever you are, good is. I'm not telling you like the good. Some days I just don't like my good very much. I'm not comfortable with it, and I want to be comfortable. Too bad. Too bad. Some of us have so much good going on, we can't stand it. And we try to say, stop. It's like it's flowing. Oh, God, I'm not worthy. Well, who says? Believe me, if it's flowing, you're worthy. If your good is here and present, you're worthy. Get used to it. Take it and say, yes. Now, what do I think about it? I need true thoughts about this rather than thoughts that I'm unworthy. I need true thoughts about the people I think aren't worthy of their good. Those people we see in the news and stuff. And how come they get to have all the good and they're just terrible people? I got news for you. They have a consciousness that says yes to it. It's that simple. It's not about religion. Religion does not give us cash. Religion does not give us poverty. A thought manifests cash. And a thought manifests poverty. Other people do not manifest cash in my life, but they are divine channels. Just as I'm a divine channel in some people's life. Did you know that you're a divine channel in some people's lives? Are you a divine channel in your own life? you are if you claim the highest mind as your source and your supply. Divine ideas. Imagine if every time you had a thought of luck, you said, oh, I need a divine idea here. I need to remember who I am, what I am. I'm forgetting. Forgetting a little bit today. Do I want to stay forgetting? It's a relief to me that God has no need for me to worry. It is a relief to me that worrying is not the source of my good. And it is not a compensation for my lousy. I refuse to say bad. It is not a compensation. Guilt, shame are not redemption. And they are a poor substitute for abundance. The Jesus Christ message says that the kingdom of heaven is mine. That we are all children of God. Every single one of us, the people we like and the people we don't like, are all children of God, and the entire kingdom is available to each and every one of us all the time. In fact, the kingdom of heaven is here, and you are experiencing it in the way that you decide. What I would ask of some of you, all of you, if you're going through a dark night of the soul right now, keep going. If you're having a dark night of the soul, as who of us has not at some point, and some of us are currently having, bless it. Bless it, and know that it came to pass. It did not come to stay. Bless it. I bless my day today. What does that mean except I have thoughts of love about my day today. I have thoughts of good about my day today. Thoughts I'm conscious of and thoughts that I am not conscious of. But Holy Spirit is constantly reminding me of the good that I am and giving me every opportunity to see it and experience it. Giving me every opportunity to see it and experiencing it. Giving me every opportunity to experience the good that I am today. And all I have to do is open my eyes to see. To open my heart to see. To open the love that I am to see. So you see, God is my source and my supply, my real source of my supply. When I say God, divine ideas, divine life is my real source and supply. But everything else is just that wonderful divine channel. Congratulations to us all on our channelship and our receivership of all the divine channels. It's fantastic, isn't it?